Okay, namaste everyone. So I think these claps should be reserved for the speakers coming after me. I'm at home. You can reach me anytime, walk into my office anytime. Just look up for my address on the web, you'll find that. First of all, let me start by thanking the sponsor of this program, Shri Ram Gupta and his Ram and Mithilesh Gupta Foundation for very generously funding this program. It involves Indian knowledge systems, which is just looking at whatever knowledge we have had in our civilizational moorings, and which encompasses not just what we typically believe as philosophy and spirituality, but goes into science, tech, politics, law, almost any field of knowledge that you can think about. I would also like to thank Dr. Partha Ghosh for sparing time. He is in the middle of a very hectic tour, meeting all kinds of people. And immediately after the talk, in fact, this event today, he has another bunch of events to catch. So he will leave to take his flight. And Ms. Sahana Singh, who I've had the pleasure of knowing for some time now, for her beautiful work on educational history in our civilizational heritage. I would also actually like to thank all of you. I understand this is not the best of the times to come out of your rooms. Right? It is foggy, it is smoggy, it's cold. Right, and today is not even a class, and your hostels aren't any way close to this place. You've walked maybe for a kilometer or so to come here, the boys' hostel. The girls also have walked a little. And so thank you very much for coming here on a Saturday morning. What I would like to say, and which is not a whole lot, I think we should let the speakers do the thing today, is I would like you to just reflect the situation in which this man, whose anniversary we are celebrating today, Swami Vivekananda, who, by the way, is important enough that the government of India, about 10, 12 years back, I think 2012 or 13, announced his birthday as the National Youth Day. Right? So imagine, a saint, sannyasi, Swami, being made a youth icon. And he actually is a youth icon, right? All of us, I don't know whether we appreciate and we have been exposed to whatever he has done. And you have a lifetime to sort of get exposed to that. But for today, I would just like you to imagine a situation when this country was not really seeming to go anywhere. We had faced invasions after invasions for centuries. And we were then, when he was born, just we didn't have our politics with us. The British were here. They were ruling the country politically. And there was a lot of misconception about who we are. A land of snake charmers, don't really have much. People are uncouth. People are dirty. They don't really know anything. All kinds of impressions were going around all over the world. Nobody wanted to know in detail about this country, about Bharat. Right? Imagine, today, you have the right, every person above the age of 18, irrespective of whatever background, whatever gender, has the ability to vote today, right? So you have a choice, you have a stake in choosing who will rule the country today, right? And then, despite that, we have all the issues that we have, right? Of corruption, of so many other things that you face. Now, this is a time when we had none of those choices. Right? And there was a very, very negative perception about anything related to this country and this civilization. In the midst of that situation, this person was invited to speak at the World Parliament of Religions, 1893. That was another 9/11, September 11th. And, when he started to speak, at the very first line, he was initially, he went through a lot before reaching there. Just before his inaugural address was to start, he lost everything that he had come with. He lost all his possessions. Before his speech, he had spent a night in some carriage somewhere, very cold, knowing nobody. Lot of difficulties. He somehow reached there. Coming from a country that nobody wants to know about and nobody thinks good about. And the very first line that he spoke, people clapped. Right? And please do this exercise. Initially I was tempted to ask you to do this exercise now, but I think it's better if you do it in reflection. There are various versions, but the minimum version for the duration of the claps is 1 minute. Continuous clap for 1 minute, 60 seconds. Just imagine, try doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds. You realize the impact that the very first statement of this man had on this audience that had gathered from around the world. And then after that, there was no looking back. He spoke a lot during that parliament, and then he went around the world. He gathered a lot of followers of all kinds, all backgrounds. So people say he has had an impact on Tesla. He has had an impact on Tata. The Indian Institute of Science today stands because he had given an initial motivation. He inspired his follower inspired Jagdish Chandra Basu. He inspired Sri Aurobindo. He inspired a lot of freedom struggle. He continues to inspire many, many, many youth today. In fact, if you look at people who are quote-unquote patriotic, want to do something for the society, country, etc., either first order or second order or third order, you will find some connection with Vivekananda, most likely. Just imagine any initiative. Right? That is the impact that this person had. There are many reasons why he had this impact. Right? But one, my take on all of this is he had the 4 C's that really define leadership that Dr. Partha Ghosh will expound upon today. Number 1, he had a lot of clarity. The first C is clarity on what this country is, what the civilization is, what the people are, what it stands for, what are our strengths, what are the weaknesses, and the same thing about himself. Lot of clarity. That clarity gave him the conviction to speak about this country and its ideals wherever he went, in any kind of background. UK, US, Bharat, all places in Bharat, Tamil Nadu, Colombo, that used to be considered a part of the country back then. Right, Almoda, he went all around the country. This is a man from Bengal. He has intense followers across the country. People in Tamil Nadu adore him. People in Rajasthan just love him. People in Chhattisgarh, almost are devotees all across the country. So clarity leads to conviction. This conviction leads to a lot of courage. So being able to do whatever he did, and he passed away at the young age of about 40 years. The extent that he was able to influence cannot be done unless you have the courage to take on a lot of people, take up huge efforts. And these 3 put together, clarity, conviction, courage, lead to what is character. Right? He exemplifies good character in whichever way you define character. Any person who has these 4 C's is bound to become a great leader. And he was not just a great leader, he eventually, during his lifetime and later, went on to actually become a role model. And role model for the most difficult segment of the society, right? The most rebellious, the most thinking, the most questioning segment of the society, that is the youth. Please do read about him. Many, many questions and many, many challenges that you face today, you will be able to find your answers and some support in whatever you're doing in life if you try to know more about Vivekananda. So we are here to celebrate the Jayanti, the birthday of such a man. And in the midst of 2 amazing speakers, I would really hand it over to them to take our audience forward. Thank you.